Welcome, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you to today's presentation. We will be exploring the fiqh of Hajj, a vital topic for understanding the religious rites and practices of this sacred journey. This session is designed to give you a comprehensive overview of the key principles and rituals involved in Hajj. So, let's get started and delve into this important subject together. Let's take a closer look at the concept of the months of pilgrimage. As we explore this idea, I want to emphasize that these months symbolize a journey, not just a physical one, but also a spiritual and personal growth process. Each month represents a different stage or phase in this ongoing pilgrimage, guiding us through various challenges and milestones. Throughout this journey, it's important to recognize how consistent effort over time builds momentum and leads to meaningful transformation. The idea of pilgrimage reminds us that progress isn't always linear. There will be moments of reflection, setbacks, and breakthroughs. Connecting this to the overall theme of continuous learning and development, these months serve as a reminder that growth is a gradual process that requires patience and perseverance. By understanding and embracing each phase, we can better navigate our path and stay committed to our goals. Today, I want to talk about the different months of pilgrimage, which are particularly significant in the Islamic calendar. We'll start with Shawwal, which immediately follows the month of Dhul Hijjah, the month of Hajj. Shawwal is often seen as a time of celebration and reflection after completing the pilgrimage. Next, we have Dhul Qa'dah, which is considered a sacred month, a time of peace and respect, especially important for those preparing for Hajj or other religious activities. Finally, Dhul Hijjah itself is the month in which the Hajj pilgrimage takes place, a very sacred period marked by specific rituals that Muslims around the world observe. These months are interconnected, forming a spiritual cycle that guides many Muslims' religious practices throughout the year. Remember, understanding these months helps deepen our appreciation of the sacred timing and the significance of pilgrimage in our faith. Let's talk about the months of Hajj and the different ways people can perform Umrah and Hajj together. Yahya relayed a statement from Malik, who cited Abdullah ibn Dinar, and this gives us important insights. Abdullah ibn Umar used to say that if someone performs Umrah in the months of Hajj, specifically in Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, or Dhul Hijjah before the actual Hajj begins, that person is practicing what's called tamattu. Tamattu means performing Umrah first and then Hajj, staying in Makkah in between. If they then stay in Makkah until the time for Hajj and proceed to perform Hajj, their actions are considered tamattu. Now, an essential part of this is the sacrifice. The person must slaughter an animal, whatever is easy for them to obtain. This act signifies their intention and fulfills the requirements of tamattu. But what if someone cannot find an animal to sacrifice? In that case, they are instructed to fast. Specifically, they should fast 3 days during Hajj and then continue fasting for 7 days after they return home, making a total of 10 fasting days. This guidance from the Muwatta highlights both the flexibility and the importance of intention and following proper procedures when performing Hajj and Umrah. It connects directly to our overall theme of understanding the different types of Hajj and the correct rituals involved. Today, I'll be talking about the different types of Hajj, which is a very important aspect of this sacred journey. As you can see on the slide, there are mainly 3 types: Hajj al-Ifrad, Hajj al-Quran, and Hajj al-Tamattu. Each of these has its own unique features and procedures, and understanding them helps us appreciate the diversity and flexibility within the practice of Hajj. Hajj al-Ifrad involves performing only the essential rituals of Hajj without combining it with Umrah. Pilgrims who choose this option focus solely on their Hajj obligations, which simplifies their journey a bit. Next, we have Hajj al-Quran, where pilgrims perform Umrah and Hajj together in one continuous journey. This means they enter a state of ihram for both rituals without exiting it in between, which can be more convenient and spiritually fulfilling for many. Lastly, Hajj al-Tamattu is perhaps the most common form today. It involves performing Umrah first, then exiting the state of ihram, and later entering it again for Hajj. This approach allows pilgrims to enjoy the blessings of both rituals separately, making the experience more manageable and spiritually enriching. Connecting this to the overall theme, understanding these types helps us see how Hajj can be personalized to fit different needs and circumstances, while still fulfilling its core spiritual purpose. It's a beautiful reflection of how flexible yet profound this journey truly is. Today, I want to talk about the different types of Hajj, which are important to understand as part of our overall discussion. First, we have Hajj Ifrad. This is a simple form of Hajj where the pilgrim enters the state of Ihram with the intention of only performing Hajj. It's straightforward and often preferred by those who want to focus solely on the pilgrimage itself. Next is Hajj Quran. In this method, the pilgrim combines both Hajj and Umrah into one continuous act, entering Ihram with the intention of performing both. This type is quite popular because it allows pilgrims to fulfill both rituals without leaving the state of Ihram in between. Then we have Hajj Tamattu. This is probably the most common among pilgrims today. It involves performing Umrah first, then exiting Ihram, and later re-entering Ihram for Hajj. This approach gives the pilgrim a break between the two rituals, making the experience more flexible and comfortable. Throughout these different types, the core goal remains the same: to perform the sacred rites of Hajj, but each offers a unique way to approach the journey based on personal preference and circumstances. Understanding these distinctions helps us appreciate the diversity in how pilgrims fulfill this important religious obligation. Today, I want to clarify what Hajj by itself means and what it does not include. When we talk about Hajj alone, we're referring specifically to the pilgrimage that is performed independently, without combining it with other rituals. It's important to note that this type of Hajj does not include Umrah, which is a separate pilgrimage that can be performed at any time of the year. Similarly, Hajj by itself also does not include the sacrifice, or the Qurbani, which is an important part of the pilgrimage but is considered a distinct act. Now, there's a particular form of Hajj called Hajj without Umrah, or Hajj Ifrad. This is where a pilgrim performs only Hajj without doing Umrah beforehand. It's a valid and common approach, especially for those who want to focus solely on the Hajj rituals. Understanding these distinctions helps us grasp the different ways pilgrims can approach their journey, and it ties into the overall theme of understanding the different types and methods of performing Hajj properly. Now, let's talk about the type of Hajj that includes performing Umrah as part of the same pilgrimage. This is often called Hajj with Umrah, or Hajj Quran. One important aspect here is that the pilgrim has to bring a sacrifice animal with him or her. This means preparing for the sacrifice as part of the journey. During this type of Hajj, the pilgrim performs Umrah first, which involves entering Ihram, performing Tawaf around the Kaaba, and Sa'i between Safa and Marwa. A key point to remember is that the pilgrim remains in the same Ihram throughout the entire process. There is no need to change or exit Ihram after completing Umrah if you are doing Quran. Next, the pilgrim sets out to Mina while still in the same Ihram. This continuity is a defining feature of Quran. Once in Mina, the pilgrim sacrifices the animal they brought with them, fulfilling the sacrificial obligation associated with Hajj. This combination of performing Hajj alongside Umrah, with the same Ihram and the sacrifice, is a special method that simplifies the pilgrimage while maintaining all its spiritual significance. Understanding the differences between these types of Hajj helps us appreciate the flexibility and depth of the pilgrimage traditions. Today, I'll be explaining the key points related to performing Hajj with Umrah, specifically focusing on the different types of Hajj and the procedural details involved. First, many pilgrims intend to perform Umrah followed by Hajj, which is a common and highly recommended practice. After completing Umrah, pilgrims typically disregard the Ihram, the sacred state they entered for Umrah, and exit it. However, when they're ready to perform Hajj, they assume Ihram again, this time specifically for Hajj, and then set out to Mina, which is an important ritual site during Hajj. Another crucial point is that pilgrims are required to purchase an animal for sacrifice, known as the Qurbani, which they will offer on the day of Eid al-Adha as part of the Hajj rituals. Now, there are different types of Hajj, and today we are focusing on the Hajj with Umrah, also called Hajj Tamattu. Hajj Tamattu involves performing Umrah first, then assuming Ihram again for Hajj, and completing the rituals all in one journey, which is quite popular because it combines both rituals seamlessly. Understanding these procedures and options helps us grasp the flexibility and richness of the Hajj pilgrimage, which is rooted in both tradition and practical considerations. This overview ties into our overall theme of understanding the different ways pilgrims can fulfill their spiritual journey while observing the necessary rituals properly. Today, I want to talk about the three main types of Hajj that Muslims perform. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, mentioned that among us, there are different ways to approach Hajj depending on our intentions and circumstances. The first type is Hajj Mufrad, where a person puts on Ihram solely for Hajj. This means they are only performing Hajj during that particular journey, without combining it with other acts. The second type is Quran, where a pilgrim combines Hajj and Umrah together in one Ihram. This is a very popular approach because it allows you to perform both rites with a single intention and Ihram, making the journey more efficient. The third type is Tamattu, which many find convenient. Here, a pilgrim first enters Ihram for Umrah, completes it, and then, after a break, enters Ihram again for Hajj. Essentially, it's performing Umrah first, then Hajj, each with its own intention, but in a way that maximizes ease and spiritual benefit. Understanding these different types helps us appreciate the flexibility in fulfilling our sacred duties. Each method has its benefits and reasons, depending on individual circumstances. Connecting this to our overall understanding, it shows how the sacred rites of Hajj are adaptable, allowing each of us to choose the most suitable way to fulfill this pillar of Islam.